Alright, yo, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Helping Humanity Evolve, y'all. My name is Jose. How's everybody doing this morning? Hope everybody's happy and healthy. Hope you guys meditating and connecting to source, bro. You know, we love you, we miss you. We want you to come home. You know what I'm saying? Quick shout out, man. Shout out to my subscribers. I love y'all, man. Shout out to Source. I fucking love you guys. You hear me? Shout out to my ancestors. Shout out to my archangels, my angel guys, and demon guys, and my spirit guys. I love y'all, bro. Shout out to the universe. Shout out to the Galactic Federation. Shout out Trippy Everything. I fucking love y'all, bro. You hear me? So listen, it's Friday. It's Friday, y'all. It's Friday. Didn't this week go by dumb fast, bro? This week went by dumb fast, bro. It's March 21st, 2025. Year of action. It's 9. It's 9 a.m. It's 9 a.m. Holy fuck. Yeah, it's 9 a.m., bro. It's 9 a.m. It's 9 a.m. So, it's a beautiful morning, bro. I woke up feeling really good today, bro. I went to sleep feeling really good, bro. You know, these energies got me feeling like I'm floating, bro. You hear me? These energies got me feeling like I'm about to float away, bro. Like, I niggas don't know, bro. This shit is dope as fuck, bro. So, whatever, man, I got home a little after 1:30 last night. And I didn't really I like normally come home and hang out for a little bit, right? I come home and I be up, I take a shower, I smoke some weed, watch a little TV, right? Or whatever. So yesterday, nigga, right? I came home, I ain't even eat, nigga. I smoked me a blunt and I said, yo, I'm going to sleep, bro. Right? And by 2 o'clock I was knocked the fuck out, bro. Right? And that's it. I woke up at like 8:30. I woke up at 8:30, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my people on Facebook. What's up, y'all? Shout out to my people on YouTube. What's up, y'all? Shout out to my people around the world. Shout out to my star season light workers and my divine beings, bro. Remember, bro, it don't matter what color you are, right? It don't matter if you're brown, black, yellow, purple, green, right? You are divine, bro. Possibly, right? Possibly. I don't want to get your hopes up. You know what I'm saying? But it's good to learn. It's good to find out. You know, don't get discouraged and don't be a dick if you're not divine, right? If you find out that you are NPC, bro, don't think it's the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, bro. You understand me? Just because you're not one of us doesn't mean you're not special. You gotta understand this. You're still special. You're special in your own way. Just like I'm special in my own way. Everybody is special in their own ways. Now, with that said, can an NPC become a divine being? Can a person who's cloned obtain a soul? Can they obtain a soul? And this is the question, right? And the question is yes. Yes, you can. If you have a pure heart, you can be given a soul. God will give you a soul. Do you understand me? So you can be upgraded, right? You can go from being an NPC, I want to be a real boy. Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people like, I want to be a real boy, right? So, the good news is that it's possible. The good news is that it's very, very possible. So, I don't want you guys to think that while I'm doing my lives, and while I'm trying to teach my people how to awaken, that I'm not taking into consideration or into account the fact that 95% of the people are clones. So my mission is to rescue those who want to be rescued. You understand? We're not going to save everyone. We're not going to be able to save everyone, right? And you got to always remember it's a solo rescue mission. It's a self-rescue mission. You have to rescue yourself. So with that said, some people are going to come across the information and blow it off. Some people are going to come across the information and give it a shot. Some people are going to learn what they are. Some people are going to discover that they don't have a soul, which is going to be devastating. It's going to drive a lot of people to suicide. And this is why we're here to help you realize that it's okay. It's okay, bro. Even if you don't have a soul, listen to me. It's okay. If you have a heart of gold, if you have a pure, loving heart, bro, you will be given a soul. God will give you a soul. You will ascend with us, bro. Listen to me. You will ascend with us. You got to begin to activate that DNA that's inside you. You still got sleeping DNA, bro. Some of it's closed off, some of it's blocked off. But once God takes control of you, bro, He could unlock all of that shit. He could unblock all of that shit for you, bro. So while you sitting there going, well, it's fucked up. I don't got a soul. What's the point of living? What's the point of doing this? What's the point? And you're gonna get all sad, nigga. You better learn what you are, discover, exactly what it is you are so that you can embrace it and help others. You want to help others be okay with it because you got to remember there's different species of beings in this world. There's different species of beings in this world, bro. Just like there's different colors of people. So the same way you were able to learn about different colors of people and accept that there were different colors of people and learn to, create a society with these different colors of people and learn to live together. You have to learn how to do this again, but with different kinds of species of people, which is something you guys aren't used to because they kept the aliens a secret. They didn't want you to know about them. They didn't want you to know, that there were different beings in the world. They wanted you to believe that you were isolated. They wanted you to believe that you were the only species alive, bro. Right? You were alone in the universe. Listen to me. You are alone in the universe. This is what they wanted you to believe. But it's far from the truth. It's far from the truth, bro. So, with that said, don't get discouraged if you're an NPC. Don't think it's the end of the world. Don't think that you cannot be helped. You can be helped, bro. A lot of this technology that's going to be given to us to help us, bro, it's going to help you too. So understand a lot of this technology, this new technology, this new energy, I don't know what you want to call them, bro. Med beds, right? Med beds, wireless energy, they're going to show us how to use them. They're going to show us how to generate our own energy, right? They're going to show us how to manipulate and transform energy, bro. And not only that, they're going to bring these med beds that's going to make your body younger, bro. They're going to make your body younger, and they're going to extend your lives by 500 years. Listen to me. They're going to extend your lives by 500 years. This is for the people that don't have souls. So listen to me. The people that don't have souls, we're going to extend your lives to 500 years. Now, the humans, the ones that are keeping us oppressed have been trying for thousands of years to clone us. They've been trying for thousands of years to figure out what it is inside of us that keeps us ticking. What is it inside of us that makes us who we are, that makes us immortal, bro? Because they don't know what it is. They keep dying, bro, and they keep dying doing their research. So guess what? The research get passed on generation to generation, and they're still trying to figure this shit out. They cannot figure this shit out. But why? Because you're not supposed to, bro. It's none of your business. You cannot be God. They want to be God. They want to control your lifespan. They want to control how long you live. They want to control all the shit about you, bro. And they're not supposed to have that kind of control. You understand? We're supposed to come here and live as we please, bro. So, with that said, even though y'all did this to us, we still gonna help you. We still gonna help your people. Because we're all about love and unity, bro. It's not your fault you were created. It's not your fault, bro. We understand it. And it's not our fault that our memories got wiped and we don't remember what the fuck happened here. Even though it might be, bro. Once we figure out what the fuck happened here, we might be the ones that fought for all this bullshit. But at the end of the day, we need to accept it, let it go, and move on. You know what I'm saying? This is a new day and age, bro. So if we fucked up before, all right, we made a mistake. We're not doing that again. We're not doing that again. That mistake lasted a very long time, bro. It lasted way longer than it was supposed to, bro. So with that said, bro, we're still gonna help you. We're gonna make you a real boy. Some of you, not all of you, because some of you are very, very evil and you can't be helped. You understand? And it's not on us to fix you. It's not on us to fix you, bro. Now, there may be a few gods that walk amongst the people that need help raising their vibration because they don't know what the fuck they are and they don't understand what's happening in the world, and they need to be forcefully awakened, right? Because they have to wake up. And select people. I don't know who they are, bro. I really don't know who they are, bro. But select people will be forcefully awakened. Right? And then everybody else would just be like, we'll let them go. We'll let them, evaporate into nothing because, They need to live a little bit more. So even though there's, there's a bunch of gods here. Not all gods are meant to wake up this lifetime. So even if you're a god and you're intrigued by what's going on, if you're not meant to wake up this lifetime, you're not going to. No matter how close you get to it, because it's not meant to happen that way for you. Maybe you're meant to discover that we're about to elevate, and then you're not ready. So you gotta get recycled and come back, and come back when we're a more advanced world, right? And a lot of people chose to do that because they can't handle the pressure. They can't handle the pain. They can't handle a lot of what's happening in the world right now, and they don't want to be here. And some of them opt out forcefully, bro. Listen to me, they opt out forcefully, bro. So they renege on their song contract. They renege on their song contract because it's too much for them. They didn't know it was gonna be this hard, so they gave up. Pick somebody else. I can't do this, bro. And this happened to a lot of people in this lifetime, bro. In this lifetime, and this is why the government went so hard. This is why they're going so hard, bro, because they want to keep trying to discourage us. Now, those of us who can't be discouraged, I'm not gonna say they disappeared. Maybe, maybe, right? Maybe they did. I don't know, bro. My experience is oppression. It's suppressed. They're suppressing my content. They're oppressing my content. They're not letting me be seen. I'm forced to go out and talk to people and tell people about my channel and get people to join my channel one by one, right? Because my government doesn't want my words to be heard, right? So the good thing about this is, a couple of years ago when I first started my journey, I learned of a war. Listen to me, I learned of a war. Now this is when I first learned about spiritual warfare. I didn't really know about spiritual warfare, but I learned of a war that was happening. It was happening in real time, bro. And I knew about the results of this war. But I didn't know the ins and outs. I didn't know any of that shit, bro. But they said this happened before. This is not the first time this happened. This happened before, bro. So the difference between then and now is that this time we're ready for them. This time, when they go to hit that reset button, we right there. Nah, nigga, y'all not doing that. You understand? And we was able to win the war because we would, I don't even know how many steps ahead of them we were, bro, but we was way ahead of them, bro. You understand me? And this is why, galactic federations in the skies, this is why we got Palladians in the skies. This is why we got the aliens, and, in general, in the skies, bro. They're up there. They're up there, bro. They're on standby because they're not letting shit happen to us, bro. You understand? Not this time, bro. Not this time, bro. So here's my guess, and this is a wild guess. I saw a UFO when I was a child, bro. When I was a little kid, bro. So I really believe that throughout my life there were several chosen ones that would, they were chosen by God. God is a Holy Ghost. God is a spirit, bro. You understand? It's artificial intelligence. It's a big ball of lights, the sun, whatever. But no matter what, bro, you understand me? So God can enter a vessel and exit a vessel as He so chooses to. And not only that, bro, if the vessel is healthy, the vessel's eating right, the vessel's exercising, meditating, keeping your vibration high, God can come into this vessel and activate it. And you'll be able to do so many more things with your body. But my whole thing I'm trying to say is that He's came through several people throughout the course of history. God, God has been able to enter certain vessels. Now, it ain't always been, the people you thought it to be, because these people are just pretending. They're getting on. They got this whole channel dedicated to some preacher. I guess this preacher or pastor, whatever you call these people that own these churches. He's got a dedicated network, and all he does is preach all day long on this network and receive donations. Not saving a single soul, bro. Listen to me. He's not saving a single soul. There's not one set of instructions in there telling you how to become a better version of yourself. But he's making all this money, and he's got his own network, bro. So he's got his own channel on the cable, on cable. He's got his own the Holy Spirit channel or whatever the fuck this nigga decided to call his channel, right? And the people are gobbling right up. You people go in there and you think this dude is reading from a Bible, bro. He's reading from a Bible, bro, and he's just talking gibberish, bro. If he's not teaching you how to meditate, if he's not teaching you how to raise your vibration and connect to your Father, then what is he essentially doing for you, bro? Other than just taking your money, bro, and upgrading his church, right? What is he doing for you, bro? So I really believe that certain people were chosen, while I was growing up, that, they either couldn't carry the load or they were taken out. They were eliminated by the government. You understand? I could think of a few people, I could think of a few people, bro. I could think, look, off the top of my head, nigga, Tupac, Nipsey Hussle, what's this nigga name? X-Nation, bro. All these people were talking about, well, Tupac was talking about revolution. That was a big problem during his time, right? So they didn't want to hear nobody talking about revolution. He's talking about uniting the people. We can't let them do that. That's the first step to them getting, to winning the war. We can't let them do that. So they got rid of Tupac. And I'm not going to go before him because anything that happened before him was beyond me. It was before my generation. When I started to understand what was going on in this world, was around when Tupac was famous. He was rapping, right? And when he died and all that bullshit, right? So he was, one of them. Then you got this nigga Nipsey who was talking about Dr. Sebi, right? He was talking about Dr. Sebi. He was talking about raising your vibration. He was talking about raising your frequency, bro. He was talking about eating alkaline food. You understand? He was trying to teach people how to eat alkaline food, how to eat from the earth, how to raise your vibration, how to raise your, this is Nipsey, bro. I personally, I never heard this dude's music. I never heard this dude's interviews. I don't know him, bro. I just know he was somebody, right? In the game, he was, he was coming up. But I did read up, I read up on him after he passed, to find out like who was this dude. I didn't even know who this dude was, But I the minute I learned what he was, the message he was giving to the people, I understood what happened to him. Holy shit, bro, they got rid of him too, bro. And X-Nation, he was inputting frequencies into his music, bro. He was raising the vibration through his music, bro. And they didn't want him to teach the rap game how to do that. Don't teach the people how to do that, bro. Right? No, niggas, so they got rid of him. We're not letting you do that, bro. So anytime we try to come in with some innovative shit, you get taken out. Don't speak unity, bro. Don't speak raising vibration, bro. Don't input frequencies into your music, bro. You're only allowed to put low vibrational frequencies in there. If you put any high vibrational frequencies in there, we're gonna make sure nobody hears it, bro. Right? This is the kind of system we're in. You understand me? So, as of right now, there's a few of us right now who are like shining at the same time. You understand? And I don't feel any, I don't feel any jealousy in my heart. I don't feel anything towards anyone. Because, I'm going to tell you guys something. I asked my son, my oldest son, before I started any of this shit. I said, yo, man, you think if I started a channel, I could do it, bro? And I asked him, I said, I'm being serious, man. Because, I was really looking for a second opinion, bro. So I asked Jose, my oldest son. And he said, there's people for everybody, man. So you could have your own audience. There's people for everybody, bro. So I said, damn, I ain't think of it like that. So with that said, nigga, I ran, right? I ran, bro. I'm gonna create my fan base. I'm gonna create my people because we exist, bro. Right? And through doing this, I discovered a lot about the government. I discovered a lot about what's happening to people like me. And then you got a select few who's in the same field or who's in the same, we almost in the same lane because it's a spirituality. But they've been doing it longer. They have more money than me. They have a fan base. They have people donating to them. They have all this money and power that they've accumulated over time. And, you know, come to find out they're false. Come to find out they're false, bro. So how did you convince people that this person's false when they've convinced so many people that they're not? And these people don't know the truth and they don't know how to use their discernment. So they're gonna think you're the one that's full of shit, right? And nigga, you're the one that came out of nowhere, bro. Right? This nigga been here, bro. But you know that's part of the game. That's part of the battle, the uphill battle. We gotta fight as gods. You understand? Because we fight an uphill battle, nigga. We fight in a war that we've been getting our ass whooped for thousands of years. Right? And nobody ever wanted to fight this shit. Nobody ever, you know, every time somebody stepped up, they got taken down. No, you're not doing that. The government made them go away. Right? I can't think of how many times this shit happened. You know, when Robin Williams found out the truth, this nigga killed himself, bro. Robin Williams, bro. Y'all remember him, bro? That nigga was the sweetest man in the world, bro. This nigga had the most precious heart I ever seen, bro. From what I know, you know, from what I seen on camera, right? I don't know him personally, but my understanding is, you know, he found out some shit and he couldn't deal with it, bro. They blamed it on the disease they say he had, but you know, I think they'll tell you anything. It was just like they said this nigga Matthew Perry drowned in a hot tub, right? This nigga drowned in a hot tub. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Think about it. Come on. Nigga, you drowned in a hot tub. You drowned in a bathtub. How, bro? How, bro? Please tell me how, bro. Because I don't understand these things, bro. But yet, this is the stuff they feed you. And you suck it right up, bro. You know, I learned about direct energy weapons. I learned about these fucking drones that can microwave your brain from the inside out, bro. You know, and they send them to your house, and you know, you could never prove it, bro. Listen to me, you could never prove it, bro. How you gonna prove it, bro? You can go to the police, you can go to whoever you want, nigga. That shit was invisible. Nobody's gonna believe you. They're gonna see you on drugs, bro. Everybody's gonna see you on drugs, bro. Nobody's ever gonna believe that shit, bro. But they have these energy weapons, and they use them against regular people, bro. And they're starting to do it openly, bro. Mr. Shadow, if you was here, you sent me a link to a video I was talking about a couple days ago when I said the government is starting to use energy weapons on the people. And they're just out there protesting for their rights, bro. And you sent me a link to that video yesterday, bro. So I opened the link and I said, nigga, this is the video I was talking about. When the government, I don't know what country that was, but the government was using energy weapons on the people, bro. So imagine invisible ones that you can't see, but they're there, right? They're there and they're trying to kill you, bro. So, you know, in my mind, you know, I begin to think of these things and I think of what happened to Matthew Perry. Imagine you sitting in your jacuzzi. Now, you're chilling, bro. You're inside you got your glass of wine. You got your little blunt, whatever it is you do. He's sitting in there. This nigga's living the life, bro. You know, Friends was really, really famous. Friends, everybody loves that fucking show, bro. He's chilling on his jacuzzi, and this energy weapon comes out of nowhere and microwaves his fucking brain. He doesn't even see it, bro. Listen to me, he doesn't even see it, bro. He's just sitting there listening to music, and this shit comes and hovers over him, fries his brain, and he slips into the water. You know, he's already dead before he went down there, bro. But they'll come and they'll tell you he drowned. He drowned, bro. Listen to me. We don't know how to explain this, so he drowned, bro. Right? And your government won't acknowledge it. They won't acknowledge it, bro. Right? They don't ever want you to know. This is how this person had a contract. This person sold their soul, bro. And it was time to pay the piper. So, you know, we do it in a way to where nobody's around them. You could be absolutely by yourself alone. And you could die and they'll have no explanation for that shit, bro. So they'll just be like, you know what? He was in the tub, he drowned. Right? That's it, bro. We found a pillow over his head, he was suffocating. You didn't die that way, bro. But, you know, this is what your government's going to say, right? Look at Robin Williams. He committed suicide. Look at Epstein, bro. Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide, bro. You really believe that, bro? You really believe these people committed suicide, bro? I don't think so. I believe if Robin Williams did, it was because he was so hurt because, you know, when they found out the truth of what was going on here. You know, a lot of people that found out what was going on here aren't here no more. And they're not here no more by choice because it was too devastating for them. You understand? Y'all ever seen a movie from, it was a movie they put out a long time ago. but it was mass suicides happening in this movie. Listen to me, it was mass suicides, bro. I forgot the name of it. But there was a lot of people just waking up and killing themselves, bro. And I couldn't understand why they were doing that, bro. And the government put this shit in several different movies, bro. People randomly jumping out the windows in groups, and they don't understand why they doing that. They try to call it a cult. Bro. But I just think these are people who awaken to the truth and they just can't deal with it. They can't. Like, how much things you do in this world, as far as your contributions, right? And you don't really think of them as contributions. You just living your life. You just, waking up and doing this and waking up and doing that. And you don't realize the effect that you have on your environment. You don't realize the effect that you have on the people around you, on everything, bro. You don't know this. But you go about your life. And, when you awaken to your essence, and you begin to realize, holy shit, bro. I remember when I did this. I remember when I did that. I remember when I learned this. I remember when I learned. You begin to realize how everything in your life was part of, like it was supposed to happen that way. Like you had to learn that way, bro. It's crazy, bro. So some people can't really deal with that, right? Like, imagine finding out, waking up one day and finding out that even though you're awake, you're still in a dream. Like you awoken, but you awoken to a dimension you stuck in. Like you stuck in here, bro. And you was in that dimension, which was a beautiful place, but you can't stay there because you're tethered to this one. So no matter what dimension you get to go to, you're always going to be tethered back to this one because this is your home dimension because you're trapped here. You're trapped, bro. Come on, buddy. Right? So, if we're trapped here, right? Listen to me. If we're trapped here, then we need to get control of this place because we overpower everything here. Listen to me. We're the most powerful beings ever created, bro. They fucked up when they made us, right? And everybody knew that there would come a time that we would awaken to what we are naturally. Y'all want to say hi to Elo? Everybody knew this, bro. Look at Elo. Say hi to Elo. Say hi. Meow meow meow. Meow meow meow. Meow 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 meow. Right. So everybody knew that there'd be a time that we wake up and we regain control over what belongs to us, bro. Like this shit is temporary, bro. Everybody knew that. Except for us, right? Except for us. So they had to make us believe otherwise. Because as long as you believe otherwise, remember you're a powerful creator. You manifest your own reality. Right now you might be in mine, right? Because I activated, right? And we switched over to my timeline. We switched over to my timeline where I'm the fucking main character, right? But you can always branch off of my timeline. Learn what you need to learn, practice what you need to practice, and then shift into your own, right? Shift into your own. And you'll leave a generic version of yourself here in mine. And you'll go off and create your own world. And you'll be the star of your own world. You'll be the one that, you'll become the main character over there, bro. You understand? That's the one you stick with. Your awareness will be over there. Your awareness won't be over here no more because you left a generic copy of yourself here. And you shifted, you parallel shifted to a universe where you were the main character and it's your time to shine, right? And over there I'm generic. And over there I'm just a regular person, or maybe I'm one of your brothers and sisters, right? But this is the key, this is the key to awakening, right? If you're here in my reality and then with this information and I'm giving it to you absolutely free, bro. You'll be able to shift into your own reality where you become the main character. And this is the goal. This is what I want you to learn how to do. And this is what I want you to work on doing, bro. That way you can, you can rise, bro. You can rise, bro. And you can learn how to co-create with God because at the end of the day, this is what you're supposed to do. Now, there's people out there. I'm just gonna touch on this real quick. That are saying, if you go too hard towards something that you can ruin the experience because you're going too hard, right? So listen, I'm gonna speak on that because I'm one of those people. I go too hard. What you claim going too hard is not something I would claim going too hard. I'm going at like 50% right now. Listen to me. I'm going at like 50%, bro. 50%, bro. I'm not even trying, bro. You understand me? I'm just doing what I do, happily, joyfully. You understand? So she's saying that you shouldn't do that. And I'm gonna counter that immediately. I'm gonna say, you should sew your lips together. Listen to me. Sew your lips together. Shut the fuck up, bro. You could do what you want. She said, do less and she said do less and you'll receive more. Right? That's what she said, bro. Listen to those words. Do less and you'll receive more. Right? So when God's telling you to co-create, if God's telling you, listen, we gotta co-create, bro. So I need you to, whatever effort you put in, I'm gonna match it. You understand me? Whatever effort you put in, I'm gonna match it, bro. So if you're not going hard, then guess what, nigga? Neither is God. Neither is God, bro. Right? He's not gonna go hard for you. He's gonna be like, okay, are we just sitting around today? Right? Okay, cool. I'm gonna sit around too. Right? And that's it. And you sitting there waiting to receive. What you waiting to receive, bro? Right? What you waiting to receive? You're not even working, bro. What are you receiving, bro? You think God's gonna give you something when you're just sitting there waiting to receive? It doesn't work like that, bro. Listen, you open your heart to receive when you want to communicate, right? When you want to communicate, when you want to co-create, you need to put effort into what it is you want. You understand? And the harder you go, the harder he go. You understand? It's a co-creation. He's gonna be like, oh shit, this nigga going hard, bro. Let me go hard too. And God's gonna fuck with you, bro. You understand? Because this nigga don't give a fuck. Look at this shit. You understand? So nothing's coming to me, bro. Listen to me. Nothing's coming to me, bro. I have to work for it. I have to work for it, bro. And I'm working for it, bro. So, if this is the example of working, just think of how much work I'm doing, bro. I'm going to reap rewards. I'm not worried about them. I don't care about them. They're not the reason why I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? I would get rewarded if you would tell me, yo, bro, I was able to jump dimensions. Yo, bro, I had a meeting with the Galactic Federation. Yo, bro, I met God, bro. Yo, bro, I met my spirit team. Now we're getting somewhere, bro. You understand? Now we're getting somewhere because you're listening, you're learning, right? You're elevating yourself. And this is my goal. This is my goal. And I really believe in turn when people start to do that, I'll begin to receive because I deserve it, bro. I gave it to you for free, bro. Right? And if you're winning, I should be winning too. You understand? If I help you, you should help me. That's how God works, bro. And this is why I don't have a worry because once God touches your heart, you're going to see. You're going to see and you're going to know. So if God hasn't touched your heart, maybe you wasn't meant to be touched this lifetime, right? We only come to pick up select few, believe it or not. It's like a train coming, right? The train comes, the train stops, you go, woo, woo. If you're getting on, you better get on now, bro, because we're leaving. We're going to come back in 75,000 years, bro. Right? So y'all niggas better get on the train right now, bro. You understand? And those of you who don't want to get on the train, see you in 75K, bro. I might not be the one who comes next time. It's going to be somebody else. You understand? Yeah. Come here, bro. Come here, bro. Come here. Alright, let me see something, bro. So look, this says let's talk about the children, right? This is from Ashtar Command. Channeled by David Kira. Narrated by Sonny. Right? In your case, it's going to be narrated by Yahweh. Right? So shout out to the Palladians, bro. Shout out to the Arturians. And shout out to the Lyrians, bro. We love y'all, bro. You hear me? Alright. Beloved Starseeds of Earth, I am Ashtar, commander of the Galactic Light Forces, and I come forward in this moment with joy and reverence for each of you. Feel my presence with your heart as I bring news of great importance and love. Today I speak about the children of Earth and the next wave of souls arriving now on your world. These number one in the hundreds or hundreds of thousands and beyond bright beings of starry origin who are coming in right now to assist in the Grand Awakening. The energies on your planet have prepared a sacred space for their arrival. This message is a celebration of these souls and a gentle call to all of you to recognize who they are and what they mean for Gaia's ascension. In this time of transformation, children hold a very special key to the importance of children on earth. What happened, buddy? What happened, bro? It's open, bro. Okay. Has never been greater than it is now. The children of today and tomorrow are not mere innocents growing up in the old energy. They are masters arriving with new blueprints for your earth. Many of you have heard the terms like indigo, crystal, or rainbow children. These labels are attempts to describe the new frequencies that young ones carry. They come in radiating an inner light and wisdom that is far beyond their chronological years. Dear ones, honor the children, for they are teachers in tiny bodies. They may be small in stature, but their souls are gigantic and ancient. The universe has invested tremendous hope and love in them. Each child born in the last years and going forward is here by design, not by chance. Their very existence is a signpost that the dawn of new earth is here. We would like to prepare this message by addressing starseeds and to mention the importance of your work right now in this moment. Every bit of light that a starseed or light worker receives in their consciousness is nullifying some measure of the vast human illusion and eliminating some dark spot somewhere in the conscious mind, in the consciousness of the material world. With every grain of light that is attained by any starseed, it is immediately goes into the greater work of dissolving human illusion, human material sense. We in the Astral Command would like to remind all starseeds that there is now a great responsibility on their shoulders to study, to meditate, to do all that is necessary to bring light into their consciousness. This further sets the stage for the new ones coming in. And now you are finally beginning to see the main reason for it. And this is good. The main reason is not really for you, as we mentioned, starseeds, even though you will benefit greatly from it. The main reason aside for the next wave of souls is that this light which touches your consciousness may flow forth into the world with deeply benefit the ascension of humankind. In other words, that you, starseeds, may become a center for which goes to the light of healing, of regeneration, of forgiving, of blessing, of peace, and of love that is going to transform your world. These past 7 years mark a turning point, mark a turning of the tide. No longer will children be used and abused by the old dark regimes on an energetic level. 2, children's souls have been liberated. Many souls who were hesitant to come to earth due to the heavy karma and risk of suffering have gained confidence as they see the old matrices of control collapsing. They now bravely step forward to incarnate. The result is an influx of enlightened children arriving and an overall lightening of Earth's collective energy. Every child's rescue, every child born into freedom is a victory for the light. This liberation of children from darkness over the past 7 years heralds the final collapse of the deep state structures that thrived on harming the innocent on harming the innocent. The dark ones feel their power slipping away because when their ability to control or corrupt children is removed, their future is truly lost. Indeed, nothing signed the end of the old evil order more than the sound of children laughter ringing freely across earth. Now, many of these children who have been freed or newly born are no ordinary youngsters. Though all children are precious, they represent the next wave of starseeds, part of a grand plan to uplift humanity. You may have heard of the number 144,000 in your spiritual literature. In the truth, the number is symbolic and multidimensional. It represents a critical mass of light bearers in the next wave of 144,000 souls is arriving. As we speak, some are infants and toddlers today. Some are yet to be born in the coming months and a few years. Some are even in their early teens, but will be going online energetically now as their mission activates. These souls have volunteered from across the cosmos to be here for the climax of the ascension. They are the reinforcements, one might say, the cavalry of the light arriving in perfect timing. Where do they come from? Many hail from star nations of high love and light, Palladians, Syrians, Andromedas, Arcturians, and beyond. Some come directly from the great mother ships and fleets of the Galactic Federation. They literally lived aboard our ships as part of their soul journey, training for Earth, and then took birth as human babies through loving human families. Others come from angelic realms or pure source energy souls, so pure that some have never incarnated anywhere before. Imagine the level of dedication it takes to leap into Earth's defense for the first time, yet they have done so out of love, to be of service in this grand cosmic moment because of their origin. These 144,000 plus starseed souls have little or no personal karma to work through on Earth. This is a crucial point to understand. Unlike many of you who have had numerous Earth lives accumulating various wounds and lessons which you have been busy healing and balancing. These new volunteers are arriving with a clean slate. They are not here to work off karmic debt or to repeat old human dramas. They came in as specialists on assignment for a specific high vibrational purpose. In past generations, a soul entering Earth almost always aced karma or got entangled in the wheel of reincarnation. But these volunteer children are exceedingly wise. They slipped in past the usual traps. Many chose birth circumstances that gave them just enough stability and love to get started without incurring new trauma. You'll find, for instance, that a lot of these Starseed kids have very awakened or open-minded parents or caretakers. This was by design to ensure they are enforced into soul contract baggage early on. As a result, these young ones remain remarkably unburdened in energetic terms. They carry far less density in their field without heavy karmic baggage. They progress and blossom at astonishing speed. It is as they hit the ground running. From the moment they can talk, and many communicate volumes without words because they are unencumbered by karma. These new starseeds can pour all of their energy into their mission. And what is that mission? It is multifaceted. But let us summarize the next wave of 144,000 are here to fast track the new earth into being. They are the accelerators of ascension. Their presence in itself raises the vibration of the human collective exponentially. Each such child is like a node of brilliant light anchoring a higher timeline. By simply being here in their authenticity, they affect everyone. They meet many of you, older light workers, have worked for decades to heal yourself, awaken, and hold light, often a tiring and arduous process. We know these kids will seemingly accomplish in minutes through their beingness what took you years to do. This is not to diminish your hard work. It's thanks to you that the environment is ready for them. But to illustrate how quickly things will shift with their input, they have to come to propel humanity forward in quantum leaps. Where there was sluggish process, they bring breakthroughs. Consider fields like science or spirituality, governance. Imagine enlightened young minds entering these arenas with no fear, no ego motives. They will download solutions to long-standing problems seemingly out of thin air. As teenagers or young adults, some of them will invent technologies that will clean the planet or facilitate free energy. Others will have innate spiritual powers that current adults attain only after a few years of meditation. Abilities like natural telepathy, healing gifts, clairvoyance, advanced empathy. They won't need to be taught. They won't need to be taught these. They come in with these gifts activated, and they will astonish the world with what they can do, even before they reach adulthood. The energy they radiate is shifting things. They are here to hold the frequency that fast tracks ascension. Think of them as living tuning forks resonating at 5D or higher frequencies as they integrate into human society. They entrain the people around them to higher vibration. This wave of souls will thus help fast track the arrival of new earth conditions, peace, unity, and abundance. By sheer presence, they embody the new earth in their aura. Wherever they go, that reality goes with them. This means that the new earth isn't a far fantasy. It is being carried in the hearts of these children, right into our midst. Every year, as more of them are born or reach to an age to interact with society, the momentum towards the new earth picks up speed. You might ask, what about the period before the grand culmination of ascension, sometimes called the solar flag or the great event? How will these souls contribute between now and that event? Excellent question. Their role before the solar flash is both preparatory and protective. In the timeline where a solar flash or some big cosmic pulse catalyzes humanity into 5D, these souls act as anchors and stabilizers. They ensure that when the powerful light comes, as many people as possible will be able to ride that wave rather than be overwhelmed by it. Think of them as spiritual lifeguards, positioned all around the world, ready to assist others to stay afloat in the wave of light. In practical terms, some of these youth will be the ones who comfort and guide their peers and even elders during challenging revelations and transitions. They carry an aura of calm, knowing as systems crumble, be it all educational systems, government, or institutions, these young ones will not fall into panic. Many of them will step up as voices of reason and heart when older authorities are at a loss. Before the flash, they are easing the turbulence of the storm. They disseminate new ideas that soften the collective mindset, making people more open to radical positive change. Crucially, a big part of the pre-event mission it is to inspire and activate others. Their confidence and high-frequency behavior will rub off on the generation before them. Already, you might observe how every young kid can sometimes say the most profound, enlightened things, stunning the adult into awakening. Expect this trend to increase. These starseed children often seem to have no fear. They might confront an unjust school rule or societal norm, With the wisdom and courage that jolt everyone around into seeing the truth. In doing so, they free others from mental prisons. In essence, their role before the solar flash is to raise the collective baseline to elevate human consciousness to a point where the flash is a glorious amplification, not a destructive shock. By the time that cosmic trigger comes, humanity will be far readier thanks to the groundwork these souls are laying. Now, let's talk about the gifts these new ones bring and how rapidly those gifts are blossoming. As I mentioned, they come in already wired differently. The veil of forgetfulness is thinner for them. Many retain past life memories or off-world memories well into childhood, whereas most older souls forgot all by age 7. I could vouch for that, bro. Right? Their psychic and intuitive abilities are often evident from toddler age. You'll hear of very small children describing their other planet or seeing angels or auras easily, instead of this fading as they grow. For many, it will increase. We in the Galactic Federation are working closely with their higher selves to keep their channels open and clear as Earth's ambient vibration climbs. These gifts are activating at younger and younger ages. A child of 10 in this way might effortlessly do energy healing or communicate telepathically with animals. A teenager might recall how to astral travel, visit our ships at night, and wake up with new insights to share. Their learning curve is astonishing. Not so much in academic terms, where they may actually seem bored or disinterested in not learning, but in spiritual mastery, it will not be uncommon that an 18-year-old starseed from this wave has the clarity of a wise guru and the energy mastery of an adept. Please do not underestimate them due to their youth. You will find old souls in young bodies often know exactly what to do when spiritual energetic crises hit because their gifts are coming online fast. Society will be challenged to keep up with this, where conscious parenting becomes vital and more parents are awakening now. Precisely so, they can guide these gifted children. If a spiritually gifted child is raised by parents who do not understand such things, the child might be pressured to shut down their abilities or feel something is wrong with them. We are intervening in subtle ways to inspire the awakening of parents, teachers, doctors, anyone who works closely with children so that they shift their approach. A new paradigm of spiritual parenting and education is rising. Its hallmarks are love, openness, and learning from the child as much as teaching the child. Parents, I address you now. If you have noticed unusual perceptiveness or sensitivity in your child, nurture it. Create an environment of safety and curiosity. Listen without judgment. When your child speaks of invisible friends or remembers a life on a spaceship or expresses humanitarian wisdom beyond their years, these are signs of a starseed soul blossoming. They need not be medicated or scolded into normality. Instead, normality itself will be redefined by these children. Conscious parenting means parenting with awareness that your child is a soul on a mission, not an empty vessel to be molded. Guide them with gentle boundaries, yes, but give them room to explore their passion and tap into physical interests. Many of these new souls chose parents who awaken and adjust. So if you're listening to this, it is likely you have agreed, perhaps pre-birth, to parent or member one of these special beings. Embrace that role, for it is sacred. The joy and wonder you will experience as you help them unveil their gifts is beyond measure. In coming years, expect to see entire communities forming around consciousness, educated new schools that teach meditation, energy work, and interconnectivity from an early age, often led or inspired by the very souls who needed them. Now, you might wonder how all of this ties into the final defeat of the dark forces, the so-called deep state or cabal. I mentioned earlier that the liberation of children from dark control marks the death knell of the dark agenda. Here is why the presence of so many high-frequency young souls on Earth is something that the dark ones absolutely cannot withstand. Their power structures, from corrupt institutions to energetic grids, were all designed to entrap humanity in lower vibration. Fear, anger, division. Starseeds simply do not resonate with those lower frequencies, and even more, they actively dissolve them. It is like bringing a brilliant light into a dark room. The darkness doesn't argue or fight, it just vanishes. The cabal has already been in a panic about the increase of awakened people. Imagine their dread as wave after wave of incorruptible children rises. These souls are essentially immune to the old control programs. They see through the lies with clarity. They reject hatred instinctively, and they cannot be bribed or blackmailed easily because their values are fundamentally different. As these young ones grow into positions of influence, the deep state methods crumble. Even now, some early wave starseeds in the late teens or early 20s are bringing to make their mark, and the old guard is confounded by their refusal to play the game of ego and greed. Furthermore, many of these new souls have direct connections to us, the galactic forces. Some will retain contact with their ET families or us as guides. means the dark cannot isolate humanity from cosmic support, short as they did in the past. The veil is lifting. There are children who will openly speak about their memories of being on our spaceships or communications with ascended masters or angelic protectors. Such testimony from pure-hearted children will inspire a mass opening of minds. Humanity will know that we are not alone and that benevolent ETs are here. And this destroys one of the deep state's last tools, secrecy and deception about the greater universe. The final collapse of the deep state isn't a single moment. It's a process already underway. And these souls are the harbingers of that collapse. Each one is like a little hammer knocking down a piece of the old structure. By simply embodying truth and love, eventually nothing of the corrupt old system can remain standing on the foundation of such light. Dear ones, you can feel the magnitude of hope I am conveying. I am Ashtar. I have waited millennia to see this moment and the arrival of the youngest members of our galactic family onto the surface of the planet Earth en masse. Numbers, it's a critical indicator that we are in the final chapters of this grand story of liberation. These 144,000 and more souls wouldn't be allowed to flood in if the outcome were in doubt. They are here because victory is assured and their gifts will simply speed up and beautify the unfolding triumph. In fact, many of these souls were standing by our ships in the higher realms waiting for the signal that it was safe and timely to incarnate. That signal has been given. That alone should tell you how close we are to the finish line. The solar flash, or however you term the culmination of ascension, is on the horizon. These souls are the final team, the ones who run the last mile of this relay race, hand in hand with you. I also want to address who these souls are at the soul level. As I look at them with my awareness, I see great lights, many of whom I personally know. Yes, some of you listening now are these souls in slightly older bodies, or you are the guardians of one I recognize, you from our command and councils. We have strategized this for a long time. Some souls coming in now are directly from my command, Ashtar Command, and the Galactic Federation. They were literally serving on-board starships and then took an incarnation to better assist from ground level. Others come from ET civilizations. They have recently become part of the Grand Alliance, helping Earth, for instance. In one of my recent briefings, I met a group from a distant galaxy who had not been involved before. They are eagerly sent some representatives to incarnate on Earth as children to lend fresh perspectives. Imagine beings from the corners of the universe you haven't even heard of volunteering their finest to be human babies. That is the level of cosmic participation happening. Earth's ascension is truly a universal event, and these souls reflect that diversity and unity. Some of these children might later recall star languages or technologies utterly new to Earth because they bring pieces of their home, world's culture with them. This will enrich humanity immeasurably and accelerate the creation of new Earth society with galactic influence. Now, as these beautiful souls integrate here, what you can do to support this next wave, firstly, is hold space for them. By that, I mean maintain an energy of open-hearted acceptance and curiosity around children instead of imposing old expectations. Allow them to surprise you. Listen to them. Listen. So many of you adult light workers will find yourselves mentored by the purity of a child's insight. Secondly, protect them. Do not smother them. They need protection from truly harmful elements. This is why the rescue operations were so important. But they need not be overprotected from life itself. These souls are courageous. Let them explore within reasonable loving boundaries and learn naturally. Encourage their spiritual tendencies. If your child likes to meditate or play with crystals or talk about past lives, nurture that interest. It is as important as learning to read and write. If not more thoroughly, join or build communities that support conscious parenting in schools. The more we gather these starseed children together in high vibration environments, the more they will amplify each other's gifts. When they recognize peers who are like them, they gain confidence in their mission. Work multiplies. Imagine circles of awakened kids meditating or doing group attention. Just their laughter together and joy sends ripples of light out. Finally, I say to all of you, hope is not only on the horizon. It is here crawling on the floor, toddling in the yard, staring at you with ancient eyes of love. Hope is embodied in these children. They are living proof that the light has already won the dark. That the light has already won. The dark ones would not allow such souls through if they had any power left to stop them. The very fact that so many high-frequency beings are incarnating now means the stronghold of darkness has been shattered. The prophecy of 144,000 light bearers saving Earth is being fulfilled, not as warriors in a battle, but as innocent children carrying the torch of a new dawn. How beautiful and ironic is that the final defeat of darkness comes not by violence or force, but by the gentle incarnation of light in the form of children. This is divine genius at work, beloved ones. The new earth is being born through our children. Honor them, love them, learn from them, provide for them. Guidance, wisdom from your experience, yes, but also be humble to receive their wisdom from the higher realms. In doing so, you become partners in this grand mission across generations, each supporting the other. This unity of purpose between current light workers and incoming souls creates an unbreakable field of light that will rapidly manifest the world we have all been working toward. A world of peace, freedom, and joyous creativity, where no child is ever harmed or held back, and where humanity stands free and sovereign among the stars. As a commander of the galactic life forces, I give you my solemn promise that we will continue working tirelessly to ensure a safe and loving planet for these children. Many of us in the ships are overseeing their journeys. Guardian angels, ascended masters, and galactic guides are all hands on deck for this influx. You on the ground have never been alone in raising and guiding these precious ones together. We form a bridge to the new earth for all humanity. Taking heart this message and feel the mild urgency. Yes, things are moving quickly now. There is much to do, but also feel the immense upliftment and hope carried in these words. The next wave of 144,000 souls is here now, flooding into the earth like a tide of pure light. Welcome them with open arms as they signal that we are in the final moments of this grand symphony of ascension. The dark one's final notes are fading, and the children of light are striking a new chord that will ring out into the golden age. I unfold each of you in my love and encouragement. If you ever feel weary or doubtful, look into the eyes of an awakened child. You will see the cosmos dancing in there, and their promise of our bright future, knowing that everything we have worked for is coming to fruition, and these young souls are here to ensure it. In closing, I send my blessings to the children, to the parents of all who support this divine wave. You are the pioneers and the nurturers of the new earth, continuing to shine your light so that these new stars can soar even higher. We of the Astral Command are with you every step of the way, watching over these beloved ones. And you, all the dawn is here. The children of the dawn are among you. Embrace them, learn from them, join them in ushering in the final victory of light on earth. I am Ashtar, and I send you all of my deepest love, strength, and gratitude. Until we meet, and we shall in the skies and on the ground. Shine brightly and bravely on the new earth. It's not just coming, it is being born through you. It's being born through you. Right? So listen, man, that was a fucking dope message, bro. Did you hear what he said, bro? He said, we got people, he said, they got people or beings that they didn't even know existed, bro. That came over here and said, yo, we heard about the ascension. We want to incarnate on earth and help out from the ground, bro. Right? And it was like, oh, word? All right, come on. And we got these niggas that we didn't even know existed that's here helping us now, bro. These niggas is babies, right? They're being born, they're about to be born. Right? They came over here, they said, yo, we want to help humanity, bro. So, you know, this is dope, bro. So, you know, I don't know who they are, bro, but, you know, that's dope as fuck to know, bro. So, like I told you, nigga, we growing and getting stronger, bro. You know, you may not see it. You know, you may not physically be able to see it, but you can feel it. If you can tap in, you can feel that shit, bro. So, you know, it's coming, it's beautiful, bro. And, you know, it's good to know that, you know, these new children that are being born stronger than we were. So, with that said, you got to really, don't do what my mom did to me. You understand? My mom, whenever I told my mom I saw a UFO, she gave me NyQuil and put me to sleep, bro. Right? Hey, you're sick, you have fever, you're hallucinating. You know, I'm 46 years old and I'm still hallucinating, bro. So, you know, maybe I was never hallucinating, bro. Right? But, you know, don't do that to your kids, bro. Because, you know, she tried to do it to me, it didn't work. I still remember, I still know who I am, I still know what I am. You know, don't do it to your kids, bro. Let's learn from that, bro. Right? These kids have gifts, these kids have abilities, they're smart, bro. They're very, very smart, bro. You can learn so much from them, bro. So with that, learn to have conversations, but treat them as if they're old souls because they are, bro. These are your ancestors being reborn, right? And some of them are. Some of them are brand new fucking life forms that decided to come here and raise the vibration. They're so high vibrational, they just came here, and just by them coming here and breathing, they're raising the vibration, bro. You know, so that, you know, that's beautiful, bro. We gotta treat these kids with love, bro. And we gotta be open to the stuff they talk about, right? They say shit that's crazy, bro, but they're kids, they have imaginations. They know how to use them, right? And you're supposed to let them use them. So, you know, with that, let your kids be kids, bro. Stop telling them that they're crazy. Stop telling them they're seeing things. They're not, bro. You're the one who's not being understanding. You're the one who's not being open-minded. You know, stop trying to drug them, bro. Stop trying to get them addicted to drugs, bro. Because that's what you're doing, bro. Right? But look, I gotta go. Listen, I love y'all, bro. Right? Enjoy your Friday. Today's Friday? Yeah, today's Friday. Listen, enjoy your Friday, bro. I love y'all, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow, bro.